Well, welcome in to another edition of Taking Sides. I'm your host, Al Walsh. You can follow me on Twitter at 14a.walsh. Always joined as always, my man Pauly Parlays. Find him on Twitter at GameDayFacts. And you can follow the show over there on Twitter as well at taking_sides. So here we are in week 6 of the NFL season. And by the way, if you're joining us on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, I thank you very much because I know it's quite the sports evening, especially here in the New York area. We got the Yankees that just got the first pitch underway. We've got the Rangers with the home opener tonight against the Lightning. A little bit of revenge going on there. And then, of course, later on, I don't think we're going to go until 10 o'clock, but Dodgers, Padres, too, to cap off the night. So just a phenomenal evening of sports. You don't like Bob Costas there on the play-by-play. You tune him down. You put us on. And we walk you through the week 6 NFL slate going on this week. Big, nice and early look at it. Paulie, let's go back to week 5. How'd you do there? And then also, how did the take a side picks go this week?
We didn't have them because we didn't have a show last week.
Jesus, I completely
so
forgot
you're
about
still
that.
Up by 3. I should have just told you that you lost 3-0. That would have been absolutely perfect. I would have just made them up. Yeah. So last week, we were through 5 weeks. I finally had an above 500 record picking the slate. I went 9-7.
All right. Very nice.
The bets, on the other hand, my New York Giants defeating the Green Bay Packers
bigly
kind of ruined my Sunday. I had the Packers in a couple places. I had them in my biggest teaser bet of the week. I had them in one of my parlays. So that was sour to get up to top my morning with.
Sure.
But as the day went on, things got good. The 4 o'clock slate, I parlayed the Eagles and the 49ers. Hit a nice one there. Took them both money line, thankfully, because the Eagles did not cover. But that was and then I was just kind of, Sunday night, I just kind of watched. Monday, I just watched. But overall, it was a positive week. How about you?
So I went 3-1 this week, bringing the season record now 26-6 with a profit of just under $1,700. So
Say that again.
So 26-6.
Those are bets you actually made.
Yes, the ones that I actually made. I know on the show.
Right.
We do this.
I'm going to look now on my notepad exactly like what my bets did last week.
Listen, I got them right on. I got an Excel sheet. I got the formulas going. But yeah, the excellent profit to have. And again, I really am $100 better. A lot of times I'll just bet to win 100. That's essentially what I do. I know everyone's always asking me like, "What's your units? I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't have I don't use 2% of my bankroll or whatever the case is. I just, lately what I've been doing is I've actually been doing pretty well on like a Thursday night game or something like that. I have some money to roll through the weekend, go to college. College hasn't been too rough on me. I think I'm like 2 games under 500 in college. But yeah, NFL is certainly the sweet spot right now this season. And got to keep it going, man. Just following those markets and seeing where all that money's going. It's been a highly profitable equation out there. So, yeah, follow me, man.
No. I always do, except when we're taking a side. Sorry, I'm tweeting this out so people actually tune in.
So
that's important.
On the take a side, do I have the 3-game lead?
You are up 9-6.
9-6.
Or 6-3. 6-3.
Okay.
You're up by 3. I
love it. Oh,
right. 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. Wait.
Yeah.
So we didn't week 4. I'll check for you. Week 4, because we didn't do week 5. I'll tell you exactly what happened. This is awesome. Ready?
Yeah.
You're not even going to remember that these games happened. Okay, week 4. Cowboys, Washington. I won.
You did.
Cowboys -3.
Yep.
Week 4, Jets, Steelers. You won. Week 4, Bucks, Chiefs. I won.
Okay.
So that puts you ahead by 2 instead of 3.
All right. That works.
Thank you for reminding me. I would have forgotten and lost a point.
Yeah, and to all the faithful listeners of the show, sorry we could not do it last week. Paul had the Jewish holiday, and the other days available, they just didn't sync up with us. So that's all
Well, the
right.
Jewish
Listen,
holiday ran over 2 days in the middle of the week. It just
we got the week 5 bye week. That's how I look at it.
we took off our picks for Yom Kippur.
Week 5 was a good one too. I went, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So week 4 was 4-1. Last week was 3-1. I exercised some serious restraint last week. I bet 4 games at 1:00 and then nothing. I didn't do Sunday. I didn't do Monday night. I just sat back, watched my boy Travis Kelce throw up 4 touchdowns last night against the Raiders. So that was good.
Love it. I own him in a league too. That was fantastic. Except it was such a weird stat line.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that catapulted me into first place of the hometown league. What up? Straight
Congrats,
Cash
that's
Army
awesome.
League. What up? So yeah, that was our week 5. Let's start up at week 6. And I guess before we begin, I know a lot of other people out there are still in survivor pools, and you're probably down to that 20, 30 people left somewhere in that area. So some of these picks could get a little weird. But this is, I think week 4 we talked and how hard it was, to try to pick a survivor pick, or week 3. I'm sorry that was, but this is equally as hard here in week 6. So lay it on me. I'm out already. Week 3 with
Sadly,
the
our pick we lost on the Seahawks.
Yeah.
So I'm alive in
what do
2
you got
different.
here?
I'm alive with 1 pick left in 2 different pools.
Okay.
And the issue here is all of the good picks this week I've used previously. So there's a lot of different strategies where you can lay it out and say I'm taking these teams this week because I see what's going on in the future. Or you can go with the I just want to survive and advance, like it's the NCAA tournament. And I kind of unintentionally am working. I have both. So one way I have it planned out, and I have the Ravens this week over the New York Giants as my survivor pick. But in the other pool, I used the Ravens week 1. I used the Packers week 2, Rams week 3, Eagles week 4, Bucks week 5. Those are 4 of the 5 best bets this week.
Okay.
So I'm caught in a what do I do? What do I do? Because before the season, I wrote down, I pretty much lay out the first 8 weeks. And the literally written here, it says Packers, Rams, Ravens, Bucks. I've used all of them. So I have none left of the 4 that I would have considered using this week. Okay. So option 1, which we'll get to right off the bat, do I dare take the Bears at home on Thursday night against the Washington Commanders, or do I find some other game on the Sunday slate? Help me, brother. Help.
How you feel about the Bengals going to New Orleans this week?
I don't like it at all. I actually like the Saints money line there.
Okay.
I just think that that's one of the home dog. It's a tough place to play. That offense looked great coming off the London game, where it's just I still don't trust the Bengals, but I get your thinking though.
Sure. And you used the Chargers already, correct?
I have not used the Chargers. Monday night is an option.
Monday.
But it's a divisional game. I get it. The Broncos have looked so bad, but there's so much talent there. They could totally just win on Monday night.
They could. They probably won't, but they could.
Although on our pre-show picks, I literally wrote down Broncos find way to lose. So maybe that's the answer.
I think that is. I mean, sometimes you're not necessarily picking a team, you're picking against the team.
Right. So that's where I think I'm going to go, but it's dependent on injuries. If Teddy and Tua are both out for the Dolphins, I'll probably take the Vikings and have some confidence there. But we got to see. I mean, the line is at 3 right now, which tells me that one of them is probably playing. A third-string quarterback, that line would be 6 or 7.
All right. So we might come to a more definitive answer as the show goes on. Same format as always, game by game. And here we go. Thursday night football. Oh boy, cover your eyes, folks, and your ears. The Washington Commanders at the Chicago Bears. We got this one listed as a pick 'em. Total opened at 40.5. We have seen it rapidly drop down to 37.5. Its lowest of the week so far early on here. If we're looking at money lines, got Washington right around even money, while Chicago is at minus 110. Just a couple of numbers to look at before we get going. Washington 3-9-1 against the spread after not covering a game. And then Chicago, not too great for them either. 2-5-1 against the spread in their last 8 home games. 6-13 against the spread following an ATS cover, which they did against the Vikings last week, and I took that. So I really don't love this game. I will say, though, the total dropping all the way down to 37.5 lends itself to some optimism. But even in this kind of game, there are some good playmakers like a Terry McLaurin, Darnell Mooney. If these guys get the ball in open space, they can make that total look a bit silly. But I guess if I had to go anywhere, it's the under. How about you?
I'm considering taking the Bears in Survivor. It's a play against Carson Wentz and the Commanders. That team screams a lot of what just went on with the Panthers, where Matt Rule got fired. I don't know if there's a mutiny against Ron Rivera or if there's a mutiny against the quarterback. And we'll see in the next couple weeks whether Carson Wentz loses the job to rookie Sam Howell or Taylor Heineke. They could go either way there. Or maybe Ron Rivera's on his way out. I really don't know. I feel like Washington has so much more talent, but the game is at Chicago. It's on Thursday night, short week. And it's just everything I hear about the Commanders, there's something bad going on in that locker room, which is why I'm considering taking the Bears. Otherwise, I'd be off that game completely. And I will not watch it either. That's like a, hey, Thursday night, don't need to watch this game.
I'm going to be out on Thursday. I'm actually going to request that they take it off the television and we do extra baseball on extra screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll get the Yankees. You get the Yankees.
Even like the Masked Singer. I don't know. I don't know what's on TV
Singer.
on Thursday.
Nice.
Like something different. But yeah, it's weird because Washington has looked like a good bet in a good portion of these games, right? The game against the Eagles, it felt like they were getting too many points. The game against Dallas, there was a big money, bets to money differential in that one that looked in favor of them. Everybody was on Tennessee last week. So the smart thing to do was to go the other way. Commanders, by the way, my only loss of week 5. But, I mean, I'm at the point, I tweeted it out right after the game. I said, Washington just might be on the no-fly list for the rest of the season. I know Ron Rivera had that comment about Carson Wentz yesterday, but it's also the offensive line. It's just a bad combination of a very bad offensive line and a quarterback that doesn't get the ball out long enough. And that debacle with the goal to go at the end of that game on Sunday, I mean, that was it for me. They just did not look comfortable anywhere near the opposing goal line. And, touchdowns have been coming at a premium ever since that, those first 2 weeks when they looked pretty competent as an offense, albeit going against the Jaguars and the Lions. But I think, it's going to be a stay away for me here. And if I absolutely have a gun to my head and I need to make a pick, I'll have to go with that under and probably see. That's the other thing too that sucks is you do get the key number there, 37.5, but I don't know, maybe parlay it with a night baseball game, buy it back up to the original 40.5, maybe 41. But that's, I'm not too thrilled about any prospects here.
Yeah, totally. No clue what to do there. It's a gross game. If I take the Bears, I'll be sure to tweet it out so that, the whole world can not watch the game, but we'll look at the box score after the game.
No real, in terms of the markets, everybody's on the Bears in this one. So
it's a gross game. It's just gross.
No kidding. But again, my rule of 3. If you're not a home team and you are not favored by 3, you are dead to me. So, all right, let's move it on to the Sunday slate. 1:00. We'll start out just going in order. No particular one here. Jacksonville Jaguars at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts 2-point favorites in this one with a total of 41.5. Money line's not too crazy. Jacksonville plus 115, Indy minus 130. Both teams have very, very ugly against the spread records in the climate that they're in on Sunday. But one interesting one that I saw: the last 8 games that Indy was favored, 8 straight unders in that scenario.
So we're taking the under, is what you're telling me?
Yeah, that's right. Trends were not meant to be broken.
The Colts are less than 3 at home, so I know what you're going to say. I feel like it's sort of a revenge game after losing 24-0 to them a couple weeks. After losing 24-0 to the Jaguars a couple weeks back.
Yep.
This game will sort of decide if the Colts can win the division. At the beginning of the season, they were the favorite. I think they still have the most talent. We're still waiting for Shaq Leonard to come back, if he comes back, which will completely change that defense. But I really think that, just Matt Ryan be good enough. Jonathan Taylor should be back, which is great. I like the Colts. I don't get why it's less than 3.
Yeah, we've seen this, or I'm sorry, we just saw the matchup, like you mentioned, in week 2, where the Colts absolutely got boat raced. However, they haven't performed well in Jacksonville in quite some time, probably since the Trump administration might have been the last time they won there. But this is not, the spot, right? Like, I think that most people would probably say, oh yeah, maybe I can get away with the Colts in Survivor this week. But Jacksonville looks like a pretty competent football team. They played the Eagles pretty tough for a while. Obviously they went into Los Angeles and absolutely mopped up the Chargers. Definitely a letdown game last week at home against Houston. I did like Houston. I did not pull the trigger, which kind of, irked me a bit there at the end of the day, but so be it. Again, probably one I'm going to stay away from, but if we get upwards of 3 or something like that for the Colts, I could get a little intrigued by the Jags at plus 3.5 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Frank Reich to turn it over to Nick Foles. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Interesting. Okay. Maybe Andrew Luck comes back?
No, Nick Foles. Oh, it's going to happen. I'm just waiting for it to happen.
Fair enough. All right. We are not that intrigued by that game, so we're moving on. New York Jets at the Green Bay Packers. And by the way, it's Tuesday, so we don't have all of our information lined up as always. But, listen, at least you're getting a first look at all this stuff. New York Jets at the Green Bay Packers. Packers, 7-point favorites in this one with the total at 46. Money lines for the Jets, it's plus 280. Green Bay, minus 300. Interesting number here. Jets 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 as a road dog. Green Bay 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 as a favorite. However, Green Bay coming off 2 pretty miserable performances, barely hung on against New England at home at Lambeau back in week 4. Last week, they lose the game there against the Giants outright. And again, listen, they got to come back from London, right? It's another saga of a team not getting that week off like they're usually used to after coming back from the overseas trip. So that's certainly something to take into play here. We saw the 2 teams last week, right? The Vikings, they won. Actually, both teams that were in London won by 7. Vikings just barely missed the cover. Saints barely get the cover. So really no data to take from that. But I would have to think that Green Bay would have to. I mean, listen, the Jets have overperformed so much already early on this season. This does seem like a get-right spot for the Packers.
I like the Jets plus the points. I'm not sure why. I think it's more of the Packers just lost to the Giants. So I'll take a touchdown with the Jets, who I think if they played the Giants, they'd beat the Giants. It's like, when are the Packers going to click? And it seems like notoriously they have slow starts and then they pick it up. But the fact that I'm getting a key number here with 7, the Jets offense put up 40 last week. I think that we could see a lot of points in this one and that it's going to be within 2 scores. So I'm just hoping that, Packers win by 6, let's say. Give me like a 30-24 final.
Okay. Is it possible that Green Bay loses to the New York teams in back-to-back weeks? I don't even know if
possible.
I don't know if that's physically possible.
It's possible.
I don't know. It's like a scientific equation that
Possible as any.
I can't figure out. No thanks for me.
But you're on the Packers -7 here.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way that I'm going to go. Line has dropped down. We did see it open at 7.5. Has come down now to 7. Looking at the markets, people love the Jets. You got about 2/3 of the bets and the money on the Jets. Spread, however, on the money line, getting hammered by the Packers in that one. So interesting to note for sure. All right, let's go to the other New York team. Ravens -5 favorites. I'm sorry, Ravens 5-point favorites on the road against the Giants. Total of 44.5 here. Oh boy. Ravens money line -225. Giants money line +190. Interesting to note. Ravens 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 after an against the spread loss. Giants, you're going to love this one, Pauly. 19-7-1 against the spread in their last 27 as a home underdog.
That goes back to the beginning of Daniel Jones.
Indeed. That's why I did the stat. Listen, when I do these stats, I do keep in mind who the coach was and personnel and all that stuff. So it definitely does matter.
Hey, if that's what you're keeping track of, you have 5 weeks of data because it's a different team. The Giants are seemingly a football team again after 4 years of being a trash can.
Right.
So that I'm a Giants fan and it's been terrible for years. Would it surprise you at all if I take the Ravens in Survivor this week and my own Giants knock me out?
Absolutely not. That's what you do. You bet against your team.
That is one of my Survivor picks this week, with the one where I have the Ravens left. But I like the Ravens -5. The fact that the Giants are traveling back from London, I think it'll affect them. A lot of travel recently, coming off an enormous win like they had. But we'll see. I mean, Brian Daboll is a great coach. You see that coaching matters. Saquon still looks great, but I think the Ravens have too much talent and that they win this one by about a touchdown.
My point with that Giants, with those numbers in the last 27 is that they were still covering games as a home dog when they weren't good at all. Now they're very good, and it should only mean good things.
They're still not very good. You can't refer to them as very good.
But you're absolutely right, though. Another team coming back from London, so definitely a detriment against them. I think we could see some points in this game. Not overly thrilled by the Ravens defense. I know they showed up a bit, last week on Sunday Night Football there against the Bengals. But, for the most part, this defense has been pretty abysmal this year. So I do like the total here, though, 44.5. I think we could probably get up over that with no problem. If your defensive linemen get their damn hands out of the way,
You do the over-unders. If I pick an over-under, it's because you gave it to me.
Funny story, I've only done one this year, and it was week 1.
And?
Lions-Eagles, crushed the over.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. So, all right, definitely one to look out for this week there with the Ravens and the Giants. I think we're going to have pretty good weather here over the weekend, so that shouldn't be a factor either. All right, we were just talking about those Bengals. Well, they're 2-point favorites at New Orleans this weekend. 43.5 is our total on the money line. Cincy -125, New Orleans +110 here. A couple numbers of interest. Cincy 8-3, straight up in the last 11 games following a straight up loss. 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 road games. Very impressive because a lot of that was done during the playoffs last year. It's interesting to note. Also, New Orleans 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 as a home underdog. All right, I know we mentioned it a little earlier. You like the Saints, say you?
I like the Saints. This is one of those every week I have to pick a home underdog, and that was where I landed. Taysom Hill put on a show last week. I'm sure he was on a lot lot of benches. I don't know how you do that. If he's tight end eligible, just start him. Unless you have like Kelsey or Mark Andrews, the upside there is so much more than. I'm just trying to think of like middle of the road tight ends, like David Njoku or
Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, like give me some Taysom, where Andy Dalton is fine. Kamara looked good again. Hopefully Michael Thomas will be back. And I think the home field advantage and the Saints defense is what the difference is here. I like them outright as a home dog.
All right. Also, going to be the homecoming there for Joey Burrow back in Louisiana, where he won his national title. So that'll be interesting. Maybe gets himself a little cigar photo shoot after the game. What's up?
Louisiana revenge game.
Yes. I do like the Bengals in this one.
I can see that.
All right, let's go. All right, next one. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 8-point favorites. Pittsburgh Steelers, another total of 43.5 in this one. Interesting against the spread numbers again, and it's good for both teams. Bucks, 11-4 against the spread in their last 15 after an against the spread loss. 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 as a road favorite. However, those Steelers at home, they're a different breed. 19-4-3 against the spread in their last 26. I did see some interesting numbers here from the betting markets. Quite a little higher number than you would think for the Steelers money line. No, it actually dissipated right off the bat. You saw a lot of Steelers money line bets, but it's about 62% for Tampa right now. Pretty much everybody on Tampa in this one. Steelers, they've had a rough go of it. Last 2 weeks, they lose at home to the Jets. They get their hole blown out by the Bills last week up in Buffalo. So I don't know. I don't know what else you could do here, but I might want to bring this down. Give me a 6.5 or something along those lines, and I'll feel more comfortable with my Bucks. But they still haven't played their best football yet, so I'm ready to see it.
It sounds like we're on the same page here. My best bet on this game is to use the Bucks as a teaser leg. Okay. Get it at about -2, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Just get it under that key number of 3, and I like the Bucks as leg 1, leg 2, leg 3 of a teaser. Also, let's go with a prop bet here.
Ooh,
Kenny Pickett over half an interception.
All right,
that's gonna happen. That's totally gonna happen. Come on.
Yeah, that Bucks defense, they're swarming, baby. Swarming on them. All right, let's get to my favorite game of the week. It's the San Francisco 49ers at the Atlanta Falcons. Niners, 5.5-point favorites here. Total at 43.5. Looking at the money line, San Fran -230, Atlanta +190. That's the rule of 200 that I love so much. But looking at the differential of bets to money here, Atlanta only getting 30% of the bets, but they are getting 70% of the money here. Reason being, you got San Francisco traveling across the country, playing the 1 o'clock game, always the early birdie game there for the West Coast. And also, too, a lot of injuries there for the Niners last week, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So I think they're, listen, they probably get the win, but definitely like the Falcons to cover the 5.5. Me being me, I'm probably going to buy this up to 7, but I'm still pretty comfortable there at 5.5. I think even a little sprinklage of the money line too.
So yeah, you walked me off this one. I considered the 49ers as my survivor pick this week. As you know, I'm missing a lot of the top teams, but it's the West Coast team flying east, playing at 1 o'clock. Just can't do it. The Falcons have been close in a lot of games. They're at home. They could totally pull off a win here.
You know what I just remembered?
What?
The Niners played in Carolina last week.
You don't think they traveled back home?
I don't know. The Niners are one of those. The Niners and the Ravens, they've done this before, but they maybe not the Ravens, but they there's like a place in West Virginia that they all stay. It's like a retreat or whatever, and they got the football fields and all that kind of crap. So I'm sure something like that they might have done. Nevertheless.
And Pauly checks the internets to see if the 49ers.
A week away from your home, when we're talking about football, I just don't think that that's going to be a winning formula either. But again, the markets have spoken here. That's the one thing that stuck out to me like a sore thumb above anything. This is actually the biggest differential of bets to money in terms of the spread this week. You got a couple different ones there with the money line, but yeah, this is absolutely the shining star of the week here. Give me the Falcons 5.5.
They're staying at the Greenbrier Resort. You are correct.
That is it. Yes.
Yep.
I know a thing or two about a thing or two, folks. All right, let's go to Cleveland, where the Browns are hosting the Patriots. Browns are 3-point favorites. Total of 42.5 on this one. Browns money line minus 155. Patriots money line plus 135. Not good against. I'm not even going to go into the against the spread numbers because they're not good for either team here. This might be a wash of a game unless we see something happen in the betting markets, but everything is pretty much 50-50 at this point early in the week. You got to lean on this on either side.
What game was that? I was writing. I was writing stuff down. I was literally like, do this, do that.
That's
Tell
how
me.
the general public feels about it too. Patriots and Browns.
I like the Pats plus 3.
Talk.
Here's a crazy stat. The Browns have lost 3 games. They've lost by a total of 6 points in the 3 games. So that's like they're right there. They're very close. I love the Browns once they get healthy and they get Deshaun Watson back. But it's that key number kind of thing. I think that this is a coin toss, so I'll take the Pats plus the points.
Yeah, I have absolutely nothing on this one, but Browns absolutely should have beat the Chargers last week. Just an absolute disaster in that game. There was a 4th and 1 late. I think they were down 2 at that point. Forget the number there, but 4th and 1 on their own like 40, and they get like a 5-yard loss, put in the Chargers right in prime position there to kind of take advantage. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Browns got the turnover after it, and then the Browns go down and get the missed field goal there at the end. But yeah, just an absolute disaster. A lot of points, a lot of rush. I think there was like over 400 rushing yards in that game in total. So that part was interesting, but just some sloppy football in general. I will be laying off that game, but you go with your Patriots. All right, let's go. Minnesota Vikings, 3-point favorites on the road at the Miami Dolphins, 45.5 point total on that one. Minnesota minus 155 on the money line. Dolphins plus 140 on the money line as well. Looking at the bets early here in the week, 60% of the bets is on the Dolphins. However, almost every single dollar is on the Dolphins money line at this point. I can't believe that. On the spread as well, too, you got about 50-50 in bets, and then Dolphins plus 3, taking nearly all the money in this one. I do not agree with the markets here. I will be going with the Vikings. Again, we don't know the health status yet of Tua, Bridgewater. I assume that neither's going to play. So we'll get the Thompson thing going again for the Dolphins, and that certainly did not go so well against the Jets. But yeah, mark me for the Vikings all over this one.
Yeah, I think this is going to be my other survivor pick. But it's purely dependent on Tua and Teddy. If either one plays, then I got to find something else, and I don't really know what I'm going to do. But I'm hoping that the Dolphins have their third string quarterback in, and then go Kirk Cousins, not in prime time.
That's right, 1:00 Kirk.
1:00 Kirk Cousins, he's good.
1:00 Kirk. That's the guy I want to bet on.
I'm okay with him, but only in 1:00. Never any other time.
By the way, Justin Jefferson putting up ridiculous numbers, just not touchdowns since week
He's leading
one.
the league in receiving yards right now.
Yeah, guy's amazing. That's why he was my keeper, my friends. All right. Wow, we're breezing right through this week. Sunday, 4:00 slate. Carolina Panthers at the Los Angeles Rams. Rams, 10.5-point favorites in this one with a total of 41. Carolina, plus 410 on the money line. Rams, minus 490. Looking at the markets here, it's pretty interesting that we're seeing about 2/3 of the bets on the Panthers and 87% of the money on the Panthers. Seeing 50% of the bets on the money line and 82% of the bets on the Panthers. Is this that whole thing where you get a new head coach and just play out of your skull?
I don't know. Maybe it's that Baker Mayfield isn't playing and they're going to be better with PJ Tucker.
Or is it Sam Darnold?
I thought Tucker's going to start.
Okay.
Darnold's on IR, so I don't even know if he's back.
Okay. Tucker came he came in for a
Tucker
two-point
came in.
conversion.
Look, XFL legend.
I love
PJ Tucker. But we'll see. Look, Rule got fired. There was something wrong with that, with everything there. Like DJ Moore was great for years. Now he's not. What's the issue? Is it the coach? Is it the quarterback? He was really good with PJ Tucker. So maybe we're back here. Maybe we can get some value on his receiving prop. I know that's been dropping week by week. Like if it's like 58 instead of 62, that really might make a difference. Those 5 yards. I think he'll have a big week. I think that they'll be behind. Since when is Pauly Parlays Pauly props? But I'm finding it's Tuesday, so the lines aren't out yet. But I'm going to take the DJ Moore receiving yards prop. Probably no matter what it is. I think he has a big game on Sunday.
Yeah, PJ Walker will be the guy. Darnold's still on IR, so you're correct for that. Yeah, I mean, listen, this is interesting with all the money heading the Panthers' way, but I mean, is PJ Walker really a big difference maker from Baker Mayfield? I don't know. I think it's interesting seeing where the money and the bets are going this week. But again, too, Rams have not looked good. Not like, what was it? Last week they lose to Dallas. Week before, San Francisco. The offense really not clicking much. The only touchdown that the Rams got on Sunday was a long one to Cooper Kupp. So, I mean, I certainly see the hesitation in going with the Rams as double-digit favorites here. I don't know, man. I could go against the markets here. Why not? Get right spot for the Rams.
It's one of those weird games. I'm off it. Look, depending what happens at 1:00, I could get on it. That's what happened this past Sunday, where I let everything play out. I missed a 6-leg parlay because Teddy got hurt. I had the Dolphins last week. I hit every other leg, and I was like, I kind of want that money back. Replayed some things, maneuvered stuff around, and ended up with the 49ers and the Eagles. I'm off this one until 3:58 p.m. on Sunday.
The next time you bet against the Jets, you should let me know. The Jets are 3-0 straight up when I bet on them this season.
You can't predict injury. I hate that stuff.
No.
If Teddy plays, the Jets don't do that.
No, I know everything. Jets were going to win that game.
So who's getting injured this week?
Al's
injury of the week.
I guess it's going to have to be Aaron Rodgers then if I bet on the Jets.
That's messed up.
If I bet on the Jets.
Jordan Love will get some run finally. Let's go.
By the way, good stat here too. Carolina 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 as a 10-point dog or more, which they
Go
are.
Rams.
Go Rams. I like this game out in the Great Northwest. The Arizona Cardinals, Seattle Seahawks. I've seen 2.5. I've seen 3 in favor of the Cardinals in this one. You got a total of 51 here. Money line, Arizona -145, Seattle +130. Good stats here. Arizona 27-2 against the spread in their last 29 road games. However, those Seattle Seahawks, we know the advantage that they have at home. 5-2 against the spread as a home dog in their last 7, as a home dog. I love Seattle here, man. I like what Seattle's doing on offense. Thought, they had a couple weird plays in that game against New Orleans last week. Really costly. I don't know what the hell the punt. I don't know if you saw this play, but the kicker, you know how sometimes they run out to the side and punt the ball? Yeah, this guy just ran out to the side and forgot to kick the ball. Basically just gave New Orleans the ball right there on Seattle's doormat. That ended up being the difference in the game. Taysom Hill running all over the Seahawks last week. That's probably, it's not going to happen in a barreling, bulldozing way from Kyler Murray. But, give me the Seahawks at home here. I like them outright, actually, on the money line.
I do, too. I tried to find a home dog in the 1:00 and the 4:00, and this was just yes, this is it. I also like the over. You have 2 teams that can't stop anybody. But that's apparent. With it, you said it's 51.5?
It is 51.
Yeah, so we know we're going to get a lot of points. The question is, who scores last? I'll take the home team here. Geno Smith. Geno Smith looks great. I love it. Stinks that Rashad Penny is out, but I think Kenneth Walker III will hop right in there, be just fine. I kind of like that they got to rely on Geno. It's funny that they're letting Geno cook, but they never let Russ cook.
It is. It's very funny. Seattle is the 8th best offense in the NFL so far this season.
Isn't that funny? Because like in fantasy drafts, you're just like avoiding Tyler Lockett, avoiding DK Metcalf.
Yep.
In my 2 quarterback league, one of my 2 quarterback league is my like longest running league with all my best friends. And the guy that took Geno is a huge Jets fan. And it was like Homer. He's been great.
Yeah. Oh my God. The one league where I had Kirk Cousins as my starter. Like I desperately needed somebody to back up. And I picked Geno up against the Lions, and I just kind of, been rolling with him here and there since. I think I'm going to go with him over Cousins this week, just based on the 51-point total. You mentioned it. Neither defense can stop, any offense in the league. So let's rock out with Geno. He's projected for a little more than Cousins as well, so I'm with it.
So I have Cousins and Brady. I'm starting Brady.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, and that does suck too for Rashad Penny. Although I do have Walker as a handcuff, I gotta be honest. Like I kind of, when they don't have to split these touches and they can kind of just focus on one of the backs, I think that that's when these guys are going to be better. So I definitely think Walker is going to be quite the fantasy production guy here because the last couple of weeks they've had to kind of split it up a little bit. I know Penny had that big game against the Lions, but this is the Kenny Walker show.
So speaking of that, I have in my 2 quarterback my home league, my team broke. Tua, Javonte, and Trey Lance were my three keepers. My team is dead. My team died. So I still have good players. So I traded Devontae Adams. I traded Kyle Pitts. I'm just trying to pick up keepers at this point. I could trade Kamara and pick up Michael Pittman and Kenneth Walker. But I also have to give up Tua, who could potentially be a keeper again next season. And I'm thinking about it. I can go 0-15 and 0 whatever, and I don't care because my team has no chance. I'm literally just trying to pluck the best keepers possible. Do we think Kenneth Walker becomes that first, second round pick next year? Because then he's the target when I'm trading Kamara at some point because some playoff team will want him. And it's really just who wants to give me the best keeper.
Yeah, no, and honestly, Penny getting carted off looks like that's going to be pretty serious long-term injury. So, yeah, I mean, if he's got a slow
he
start
broke his fibula. Come on.
I mean, too, and if Walker just goes off the reservation,
But we've seen this before. It was Chris Carson, and that's how Penny took over.
Sure. Good Lord. All right, let's get to the 4 o'clock. Let's get to the Sunday afternoon main event because it's the big one, folks. It's the Buffalo Bills. It's the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead, a rematch of last year's what is that, divisional round that they met? Yeah,
it was whoever won that. Come on, that I was just going to say whoever won that game was going to win the Super Bowl, but then that didn't happen. So my bad.
Yeah. Money lines at 130 for each side. Buffalo minus, KC plus. Obviously, this is interesting numbers here. Both teams, as we know, two of the best in the NFL, if not the two best. Buffalo 6-1-2 against the spread in their last 9 is the favorite. While you got KC at 12-3-1 against the spread in their last 16 as the underdog. Something's got to give, folks. But even before Kansas City had that really slow start yesterday, Buffalo was favored up around, I believe, 2.5, 3, if I'm not mistaken, in this game. But I got to go with the Bills in this one. You got plenty of motivation. Kansas City, they had their struggles. They seem to have their struggles more often than we want to believe. But with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, guys like that, you're going to be able to overcome stuff like that. So I think Bills keep on the pressure. They're still pissed from last year. They get this one in a big way.
So Sunday. I could take this as my survivor pick, but I just don't have the balls to. Either way, if I pick it, I want to pick it right. This game last year, I believe they played in the regular season before the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
It was Chiefs -2.5. Now it's Chiefs +3. Has that much changed?
I think so, right? No more Tyreek Hill for Kansas City. as
But
explosive.
it hasn't affected their offense. So I love the Chiefs +3, especially at home.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I'm taking the Chiefs in Survivor. I'm just saying.
I want to make sure here because yeah. So when they played in Kansas City during the regular season, Buffalo clubbed them over by the side of the head, 38-20.
But was the line was Chiefs -2.5.
Yes, it was.
That's what I'm telling you. So it's just line value. Something doesn't make sense. Has that much changed that we're going to swing 5.5 points? I just don't see it. I get it. I get it that the Bills killed them, and then that we had the playoffs, and it was just the coolest, craziest game that I think all of us have watched in a really long time.
Sure.
But I just
not when you had like $500 on the Bills, but yes.
sorry
sure.
about that.
Yeah, it was only, one of the biggest bets of the year. No big deal.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I have a friend at my local watering hole who never lets me forget, but when the Bills scored that touchdown to go ahead with 13 seconds left, I ordered shots for us, and the game wasn't over yet, and I thought it was, and now he never lets me. Every time I order shots, he's like, "You sure? You sure you want to do that?"
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, listen. It's not like I wanted them to lose. I had all that money on them. But yeah, listen. I just think the Bills are too damn good. That was a fluke in Miami week 3. I'm not buying that. That's not who this Bills team is. The team that we saw absolutely stomp the Steelers on Sunday. That's the team I'm thinking of. So bring on the Bills, circle the wagons, do it all. Let's go. Let's go, Buffalo. Now, we're not done with big, beautiful games on Sunday. Oh, no. Sunday Night Football. You got the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles, we've seen a lot. We've seen -4.5. We've seen 5. We've seen 5.5. We'll call it 5. We'll keep it right there in the good space. Total, though, this is what's been weird. 44.5 dropped down to 42.5. Seeing about 50% of the bets on the under, 50% with the total, 90% of the money going towards the under in this one. So with the spread going, or with the total going down like that, and all the money going that way, that is certainly interesting. All right, so how does that shape the rest of this game? Well, it's a division game. Dallas's defense is playing out of their mind. Philly's defense is playing out of their mind. I think the only way Dallas stays in this game is via defense. So I think that would lead me to believe that the Cowboys probably cover the 5 in this one. What say you?
I like Cowboys +5. I don't know if it's Cooper Rush. I don't know if it's Dak Prescott. It seems like it's going to be Cooper Rush. But however, I'll do an Al Walsh. However, I think the Eagles win the game. I think the Eagles win by 3 or 4. I just don't think they cover. I think that this will be Cooper Rush's first loss of his NFL career.
Yeah, I could certainly see that too. And again, with the total, right? I'm thinking something like 20-17. That sounds feasible.
It sounds about right.
20-17,
21-17, 24-20, something like that.
20-16, maybe the Cowboys get 3 field goals. They keep it within.
Well, here's something interesting. The Cowboys are the only defense that has not given up more than 1 touchdown in a game this season.
No kidding.
So are the Eagles good enough to score 2 touchdowns? I think so, right?
Absolutely.
Or worst case, they win 16-14. Yes.
9-6.
Ooh, that's ugly.
No way in hell. A couple interesting numbers. Both teams really good against the spread in their climate that they'll be in on Sunday. Dallas 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 as an underdog, 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 as a road underdog. Now Philly, this is very interesting, 5-0-1 against the spread in their last 6 as a home favorite. We're going to see some good defensive football on Sunday night. That's basically what that told me.
Oh, good. More nationally televised games that are terrible.
Boo!
I like to call them eyes bleed games. Have you ever heard that?
No.
Like they make your eyes bleed, but you can't stop watching.
It's football, right? You
right.
gotta. All right, let's get to Monday night, and we'll be out of here. Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers 5-point favorites. Total at 45.5 on this one. As for the money line, you got Denver plus 200, Chargers minus 240. Interesting number from the betting market on this one. Got about 60% of the bets that are on the Broncos in this one. I'm sorry, 60% of the bets on the Chargers, and then you got about 70% of the money on the Broncos. I can't believe anybody wants to bet on the Broncos. And then, of course, you got a lot of the money for the Chargers money line going that way as well. Okay. This was the key numbers that I've looked at. Denver 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 on the road. 8-3 against the spread. This is for the Chargers. I'm sorry. 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 against the AFC West. Good numbers there. I think you can kind of span that across whatever. Denver, they already sucked last year. You can even make the case that they're worse this year with the coaching that they get. Russell Wilson's got that lat injury. That could certainly be a factor. But, yeah, I'm going with the Chargers in this one. They were my pick to win the AFC West. It's time to get going for them with the Chiefs still winning ball games and might be able to make up some ground if the Bills get that W as well.
I have Chargers -5, and I wrote down, like I mentioned earlier, Broncos find way to lose. I wish the Chargers weren't so hurt. This team was built so much talent. And even though they've lost some major players, they're still a really good team. I get it that, they sort of might have got lucky in their win over the Browns. But Justin Herbert is a star. He is a superstar. He's doing it without Keenan Allen. Bosa is out for the year, maybe. We're not sure.
A bit.
He had surgery on something else because something else is hurt. He injured something else, but had surgery on like his knee because he has to be out anyway. Did you see this, or am I?
No, I did not.
So he injured let's say his shoulder, I think.
Okay.
But he had knee surgery because he's cleaning it up because he can't play because of his shoulder anyway. Something like screwy, where what he injured,
that's the time
what he injured isn't what he then had surgery on, and I was like, what's going on here?
That's the time to get it done.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I can't do it anyway, so I'll just do this and I'll rehab both. The Broncos are just the team I can't figure out. I don't think they're good. I think I'm with you. I might take them I might take the Chargers in Survivor. I'll have to be convinced. I think I'm off the Bears on Thursday night, and it's going to be either Vikings or 49ers on Sunday, or I wait and take the Chargers on Monday. But because we're recording this on Tuesday, I've got a couple days to figure it out.
Yeah, there's nothing that the Broncos have shown me. And this is a team I bet on them in week 3 against the Niners, and they somehow pulled that one out. It was garbage, but they did it. But, yeah, there's just nothing that I feel comfortable about. You're right. They're finding ways to lose against the Raiders a couple weeks ago. They had that nice run that was about to put them in Raiders territory. They fumble right into the hands of the waiting Raider, who takes it all the way down the field for the score. This is just the kinds of things that are happening to them. The fact that you're up 3 late in that game against the Colts and you throw an interception like a dingbat, you could have easily kicked the field goal, and a team that didn't score a touchdown against you all night would have had to drive the length of the field. Just awful decisions that are happening from this team. And again, like I said, I got Chargers winning the division. It's time for them to get going. Let's do it against the Broncos. Oof.
So that's that.
That is that.
That's a record. That is a record, Alan.
Under an hour. But that's, this is what you do, right? On a Tuesday.
Yes.
You don't have all the information that you usually do later in the week. So it's a quick glance over at everything. But I like it, very efficient. The people are going to take this information and then they are going to go win themselves.
I sure hope so. Just so the listeners know, we do have 3 take-a-sides, but we didn't really talk about it.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it now.
No, I know what they are, but I'll run through it real quick. So number 1 is 49ers Falcons 5.5. Right. I've got the 49ers -5.5. Al has the Falcons +5.5. Second 1:00 game is Jets-Packers. Al has the Pack -7. I've got the Jets +7. And then the game of the week, we're on opposite sides. I am taking the Chiefs +3. Al is taking the Bills -3. Anything else? Any fun thoughts? Anything that you can help me to make my survivor pick?
No, but how about those Philadelphia Phillies?
How about them Phillies?
I'm sorry. How about those Philadelphia Phillies?
I don't understand. Is the sunglasses a thing that I just don't get?
No, cool people wear sunglasses. So
Oh, okay.
that's
So
what
let me
I was
put these. I got this. I got you. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Do it together.
How about
Yes.
how about those Philadelphia Phillies there? How about that?
I like it. That's going to be our new thing. We're going to just put sunglasses on in the middle of the show.
Yeah, I went for it.
That we both just had them sitting here is also amazing.
Well, I wore them earlier, and they were on the dust, so it was meant to be. It was meant to be, people. All right, that's going to do it for me and Paul. If you guys want to follow us on Twitter, you can do so. Me at 14A.Walsh, Paul at Game Day Facts, and the show at Taking_Sides. For me, Paul, and the rest of the internet, we are gone. Have a good week. Peace.